Good morning, guys. Vice President Kamala Harris will appear at a rally in Georgia today for her first campaign rally since Monday. She'll be on the trail with former President Obama for the first time ever. Other notable celebrities that will appear at the rally are Bruce Springsteen, Spike Lee, Tyler Perry, and Samuel L. Jackson. This after Harris was pressed by undecided Pennsylvania voters at a CNN town hall last night, which included trying to answer why grocery prices have spiked under Biden and Harris. Listen.
Grocery prices have gone up quite a bit in the last 4 years. And some people blame former President Trump. Some people blame President Biden. Who would you say is correct? And what would you do to bring prices down for Americans?
You're absolutely right. Price of groceries is still too high. And we need to address it in a number of ways. Part of my background and how I come to it is probably a new approach grounded in a lot of my experiences as a former attorney general, where I took on price gouging. And part of my plan is to create a new approach.
Harris was also asked why she didn't address several major issues as vice president.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done. And I'm not going to shy away from saying, hey, these are still problems that we need to fix.
CNN host Anderson Cooper asking Harris what her biggest mistake has been as vice president. Watch.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life or in your life in the last 4 years, that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes, too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Former President Donald Trump held a campaign event in Georgia yesterday and was introduced on stage by country star Jason Aldean, the former president urging voters to get out and vote early.
The early voting is, people have never seen anything like it. They've never seen anything like it because the American people are fed up with the people that are leading us down a road to disaster. So the polls are open for early voting in Georgia every day from now till November 1st. You got to get out there and vote.
Trump has campaign stops in Arizona and Nevada today before traveling to Michigan this weekend and then coming here to New York City for that rally at MSG. Guys.
My God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. My God, I do. We're not going to just meme those globalists. We're going to meme them till they cry and use their tears to grease the treads of our takes.
Yes! Yes! It is a victorious moment for our show as President Trump shouted us out from the stage last night. We are here in Georgia, live, baby. And we are victorious, we are triumphant, and we are going to win. Man, do you feel that energy out there? We felt it last night. We're going to talk about all of it on the show. So much breaking news, and we may be making some news here in the state of Georgia today. We'll tell you all about it. Today is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. Democrats tried out new hoaxes against Donald Trump after he surges in the polls. However, it's actually Kamala Harris who is going to be suffering from a massive campaign bombshell that just dropped. Doug Emhoff's spousal abuse accuser has gone public. Baby, in any other election, this would be a campaign ender. We'll see what happens. Kamala implodes in debate with herself on CNN. Not sure how that even happened. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. We are on the road. You know what that means? That means, of course, we're watching the chat. We got the chat live and rocking. What up, chat? That means we're also online with our Patriot mobile device. During one of the show clips, I'm going to film like the actual production here in this. We're in this relatively small hotel room. The crew has just like made it happen. We're just making it rip here. We're powered by Patriot Mobile on the road. We're going to be on the road for the next couple weeks. Not next couple weeks. We got 12 days to the election, boys. But we're going to be on the road because, well, we got a country to save. We got a country to save. We may be doing an event with Laura Trump tonight. Patriot Mobile takes us there when we are traveling. Ladies and gentlemen, they're America's only Christian conservative wireless network. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, patriotmobile.com/Benny, or call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you use the offer code Benny. patriotmobile.com/Benny for your free month. Okay, I want to begin with something that I never thought would happen. I never thought would happen. And Killer Klein, if you could please put up the tweet that I just sent you. Check out this footage. Check out this video. Look at this was our view from last night as we watched President Trump take the stage. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this arena. Look at this. Look at this massive arena of people. Every seat filled, plus the floor in this sports stadium for President Trump. They're going to try and psyop you. Trust me, they ain't done yet. They're going to try and psyop you. They're going to try and blackpill you. They're going to try and demoralize you. It's going to be the same tactics that they have used. These are literal psyops to tell you that your movement is collapsing or that it's failing. This movement has never, ever been stronger. Let's rip this as a plebiscite, actually. You guys should hear this. You guys should. Oh, do you have it? You should hear it. Have a listen. Listen to this. This was last night here in Georgia. Look at that. It's bigger than a sporting event because basketball teams clear the floor, right? You're not allowed to sit on the field for an NFL game. Look at that.
Well, thank you very much, and
hello,
Duluth.
Wow.
Hello, Duluth. And a very special hello to Georgia.
Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, it was the honor of, I'll call it what it is. It was the culmination and crystallization of a lot of hard work for this team. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want to say thank you and a shout out to the team. I want to establish that there's crew that work on this show, that work tirelessly, many of them behind the scenes and often off camera. Even ALX breaks my balls when I bring him on camera. It's a running joke that I just plug ALX on camera, up on screen, when he's not ready in his room with his flag behind him and his air conditioning unit and his Twitter bird. It's a running joke on the show. There's so many incredible creatives that work on this program and that make this possible. And I am deeply thankful for them. There's a sort of a sense of ingratitude, I think, that often permeates this industry, and that is not this program. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for the team on this show. And when Trump shouted us out from stage last night in front of that stadium of people, boy, it wasn't about me. It was about what we're building here, actually. It wasn't about me, because this is not a one-man operation. This is a monster team effort here. And what I mean by that is all of us, you, me, the chat, we didn't know this was going to happen. I was sitting there next to Riley Gaines. She's a superstar. Riley's freaking awesome. We're there. It's an amazing crowd, amazing energy. Tons of, I don't know, boys. It was lots of great energy walking through the crowd, lots of happy people. It's amazing how many people you affect, and it's so important to go out and, actually touch grass, right? Meet the people who are the subs and who follow along. And it's important to listen and take a selfie or shout out their mom. I do a lot of that, actually. Shout out my mom. It's okay. It's feel free to ask, quite frankly, if you're around. But we were sitting there in the front row, and Trump's like, "What's up, Benny Johnson?" It's we did not expect that. We didn't know that was going to happen. Here's the clip.
Benny Johnson, thank you very much. And Peter Navarro, thank you very much. And Steve Witkoff, one of the great entrepreneurs of our country.
It was a shock to us. it was a shock to us. We were it is like didn't know what to do. We did our speech ahead of time, but that was great, and I want to I just want to play that clip. Obviously, not as anything other than a thank you, because again, we've been working for years on building this movement. We have had tough broadcast days. This is about truth. This movement is about all of us uniting together to salt lib meme the libs, to do something and create something that really just doesn't exist right now in the media ecosystem, and to break down the corporate media power and stranglehold on what we view as news, truth, and information. And so Trump acknowledging that on stage, something we were not ready for, and something that was just freaking incredibly awesome. And what it means is that it's working, ladies and gentlemen. It's an answer to prayer. And it's just great, man. It was just awesome. We were on stage, we gave a speech, and we just we have a rule, and it was in the cold open actually today, and the rule is that we meme the libs until they cry. And then we meme them crying. And so that's all we did yesterday. Looks like we have a play-beside here, Klein? Yeah? All right. So that's what we did. And, it was a lot of fun. And we, but frankly, didn't expect Donald Trump to do the shout out, but it was pretty amazing. I don't know, boys. What are you thinking, Klein, with this clip?
It's a good one. So you want to say it's awesome.
But it's muted. Is it just B-roll?
Got any Christians in the audience? Here's the point. This is the point. What man intends for evil, God intends for good. And that's what happened here. It's what's been happening to our boy Don. This entire election cycle, they have tried to assassinate him. They tried political assassinations, Hillary Clinton, Russian dossier. They tried impeachment assassinations. They tried judicial assassinations. He's facing 400 years in jail. Some states tried to take him off the ballot. They tried to remove the capacity to vote for Donald Trump. That is itself a style of assassination. So when you vote Trump, vote twice as hard for those people that didn't want, the democracy defenders that wanted to take him off the ballot. Ladies and gentlemen, then they tried literal assassinations. I see Bricksuit down here in the front row. He was there in Butler.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. This is supposed to be a play-beside. Okay, rolling on. Here we go. We walk. Do we have the clip loaded? You guys' sizzle? Let's go. All right, shout out to the team who ripped that together last night. It was just really fun. It was really fun. We're living out in a dream right now, living out a literal dream right now, and we just want to say thank you. It's emotional, quite frankly. It's emotional to be a part of it, and it's special to see. I don't know what's the right way to say it. Dreams come true. It's actually something we've been working for years, and we're seeing now the culmination of a movement that they tried to put Trump in jail. They tried to put all of us in jail. They tried to kill Donald Trump. They tried to stop this movement, slander this movement, libel this movement, make it literally illegal, deplatform all of us, rip every one of you and me offline, every person in the chat. They would like to delete your account. They did everything they possibly could. They're actively trying to do the same thing to Elon Musk or anybody who allows free speech. and we are going to defeat them. This is going to be victory for us. Man, it was a freaking awesome night. It was incredible to, it was incredible to just see the crowd, just vibe with everyone. There's tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people. I don't know what the exact number is in the stadium, but tens of thousands of people in the crowd, just rocking. Just the energy, just the love. I encourage you right now, please, if you have an opportunity to go to a MAGA rally, go. Go to a MAGA rally. If you have a chance to get out and go to one, go. Feel the love. Feel it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is one thing that played at the rally last night. And it's a brand new Donald Trump ad that was released live, I think, during the actual rally itself. And I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was incredibly powerful and a really nice crystallization of exactly what we're seeing right now. Because what we're seeing here in this moment is spiritual energy. And we're seeing spiritual energy manifest. This is forces of light versus the force of darkness. Force of, the Bible describes Satan as somebody who steal, kill, and destroy. And so what we've seen in this movement is stealing, killing, and destroying. And you've seen them try to destroy the movement. You've seen them trying to kill. You've seen them try and steal. And they have been successful, I think, in stealing, quite frankly, an election. But the wages of sin is death, and Satan loses in the end. And I think that this is the victory arc that that is biblical, quite frankly. And this newest Trump ad that played from the stage last night really crystallizes all of it. Here we go.
Donald Trump has always loved this country.
I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country. This country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was.
He's always put us first.
I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. That's why it bothers me so much that when we give this kind of money to the wealthiest countries in the world, and yet for our own people, the homeless, the sick, the poor, the farmers, who are really going through hell right now, those people we're not helping.
Donald Trump has always been there for America.
Somebody has to help this country. If it were me, that'd be fine. I could do it.
How would you like to be remembered?
Well, as somebody that's contributed something to the United States.
Donald Trump has always fought for America. And he always will.
Hard, man. This goes so incredibly hard. I don't know how else to explain this moment other than deep and abiding spiritual energy. It's the only way that you can explain the trajectory of this movement right now as a movement of victory. As you see sort of like the demonic screams, and we're going to talk about all the new hoaxes that they brought against Donald Trump of the regime. They are flailing. They're being dragged down to hell right now, and they are flailing and they are screaming about it. And it is exciting to watch the panic, and it's not going to work. And one big final fat shout out to Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point crew last night who produced this event. We got it loaded now. Finally. Sorry for the mess up in clips, boys. I didn't actually send in the clip I wanted played. Here's the clip I actually wanted played. This is what the crowd sounded like from on the floor. This is insanity, and I want to do a shout out to my boys at Turning Point. This is an absolutely wild. No, not that. That one's going to have CR music, guys. The first one, please. Here we go. Listen to this.
Thank you very much.
Charlie Kirk and the team at Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk and the team at Turning Point USA have created a movement of the future that has caught the energy of MAGA in a bottle, and it's like capturing lightning in a bottle. And they're making it durable. They're making it something that can carry on after the campaign. Because in 12 days, the MAGA rallies go away, and as we know them, right? They go away. The campaign actually must officially end via American law. And so as somebody who's been connected and working with Turning Point USA for such a long time, and this is Turning Point Action, Turning Point PAC that puts on this event last night because it is election-oriented and politically oriented. The Turning Point crew is so exceptional. Turning Point PAC, Turning Point Action, Charlie Kirk, and what they built there. It's remarkable. If they got an event in your area, show up, go, register, be a part of it, because this is where the energy of the movement has gone. It's where it's moved. It's where it's going to live, and where the gravity of the movement is going to be for the foreseeable future. That's pretty clear last night. So massive shout out to Charlie, Turning Point Action, the Turning Point PAC crew for putting this on. Major sports teams couldn't pull this off. Major sports teams couldn't pull this off. So really exciting. One final thing. Here they are all on stage together. Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker Carlson, RFK Jr. What a team. What a squad. What power. What a movement. Look at that. What an incredible movement. Look at this. It's like that, just a dream team. You want those. You want that running your government plus Elon Musk. And we'll save this country for another American century, and it'll be ascendant. It'll actually be an ascendant nation instead of a declining nation. If you had this crew plus Elon Musk plus the people behind them, standing behind them, then you're looking at us digging our heels into this brown and red American dirt and making and saving this country for our future generations. This is what's at stake in this election, and it's just great. Now, I got to tell you, the polling results right now and the electoral results look staggeringly good. They look wildly good at the moment. But this is not the time to let up the gas. This is why we are going to be on the road. This is why we're going to be spending the day in Atlanta. This is why we're going to be doing work here. We are going to be doing a little trolling at the Kamala Harris and Joe Biden rally, Bruce Springsteen and Samuel Jackson. Like, how many people are on the Diddy tapes? How many Diddy tapes they got? They must have got everyone. They clearly have Eminem. Make Feminem go out and like do his little humiliating, groveling, sheep-like mewling yesterday. It's like so sad. We ripped to shreds Eminem yesterday. Dude, they got every celebrity coming out. It's not working. They have then the new tactic, which is to have Kamala not do any events, which was really smart. They kept Kamala away from the campaign trail. Maybe those were her best days campaigning. The last couple of days, Kamala quit the campaign trail. But Kamala's back tonight, and she was back last night with a disastrous CNN town hall where she somehow inexplicably lost a debate against herself. But I want to do something that I don't typically do. I want to do something that I avoid on this program because I understand how the corporate media news ecosystem works. Corporate media works like this. They publish a hoax, and the value of the hoax, and I have been subject to many hoaxes myself, and I have worked in the corporate media for my entire life, so I actually understand how the system works more than most. The hoax is meant to do the damage, the smearing. None of it is true. The value of the hoax is just in the smearing itself. If they can get the headline out of it, there's the psyop. The goal is just get the headline. Get the psyop up and out. Get someone to print it, have it travel, and then who gives a damn about the actual truth? And so what you will not find on this program is hoaxes. We do not do hoaxes. We bring people on who may have been subject to hoaxes and we debunk. We actually are founded entirely upon truth. If we ever get something wrong, we apologize. That's what makes us better than them. That's why we're thankful that you subscribe. We're very happy to be part of this movement because this is a movement of truth, and we're going to be better than the corporate media. And so it is important for me not to amplify hoaxes. Part of the ecosystem of the corporate media is Donald Trump colludes with Russia to win the election. Then they can amplify that. They can start a special counsel. None of it's real, but the damage is done. That's how the machine works. So we're not going to be part of that damn machine, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, this, you can see here. There it is. Look at this screen. These are all the headlines that have been created out of the new Trump hoaxes. There are new Trump hoaxes that are dropping. Every one of them has been debunked, which is why I do not want, I was on the phone with ALX earlier. was on the phone with ALX, and I was like, I do not want to give oxygen to fake desperation, demonic Trump hoaxes as they demon scream get dragged back into hell. But since these things are so wildly and easily debunked, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to spend a short period of time today talking through what has dropped, because they've dropped 3 new Trump hoaxes in quick sequence. And we're going to rip through them like a hot knife through sweet salted butter. I'm going to show you exactly how desperate the regime is. I'll begin by saying we have been talking about this the entire week. We broadcast on this program first that Kamala Harris would be dropping out of the campaign, that she would be like taking days off. Little birdies have been telling us some very interesting things from inside of the campaign. Some of it we can run with right now, some of it we can't. But we are predicting the future. The future for Kamala Harris is not very bright. Kamala Harris is going to lose. We should not take our foot off the gas. They know Kamala Harris is going to lose. And the goal now is a desperate attempt to just hold the side up. Just keep the Democratic Party together. Can the train stay on the tracks, or will this entire thing reverse shift into a new Republican nation paradigm with a brand new landscape remade by Donald Trump of Donald Trump's coalition of America First? Blacks, Latinos, working class people, real Americans, all fighting for our collective future. It's been a massive historical, biblical backfire. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. What's happening now is the desperation attempts of a regime to stop that switch from happening. The switch was supposed to be Barack Obama creating a new permanent single-party coalition of the dispossessed, moving forward and governing into eternity. What Donald Trump has done is once again swaggerjack Barack Obama and create, literally piss in his punch bowl and create his own new, durable movement that may well become the leading, that is without question the largest and most energetic political movement in my lifetime, and may well go on to be the ruling movement of the next generation, the America First movement. I don't think there's any return for the woke. The woke have done it. They've burnt themselves to the ground. And these are the desperate flailings to try and just defend against the destruction and the atomization of their movement. Okay, here we go. The new hoax, The Guardian. Donald Trump did something inappropriate to me. 30 years ago, Donald Trump touched me in what felt like a twisted game, according to British tabloid. Stacey Williams says the ex-president, whose spokesperson denied the allegations, touched her in 1993 with Epstein introducing them. Okay. Let's begin. If something happened to you 30 years ago and you decide not to say anything about it when Donald Trump was a public figure for that entire time, when Donald Trump ran for president, when Donald Trump toyed with running for president in 2012, ran for president in 2016, ran for president in 2020, then has been running for president for the better part of the last 3 years, then in October, you suddenly feel compelled to say something about it, days before the election, then forgive me, but I do not give any credit. You are Christine Blasey Ford, as far as I'm concerned. I do not give any, this is absolute and total opportunism. And none of the facts line up. Also, this individual is an Obama donor and supporter and activist. So, there's absolutely nothing that passes the smell test on this. Also, interestingly enough, they're trying to tie in Epstein's name to this. Let's do a little fact check on Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, who was an intel op, was tasked with an unlimited resources credit card in order to go and compromise important people in our country so that they could be held in check. Which foreign nations were running Jeffrey Epstein and which domestic organizations were running Jeffrey Epstein? I don't feel confident I can say them right now. But here's what I do know. I know, as a matter of fact, that he was working for Intel because that's what Alex Acosta said when he was asked why he let Jeffrey Epstein off the hook on his first sexual predator charges that he caught here in Florida in 1998. Alex Acosta said under oath, I was told he belongs to Intel, so I had to give him up. It was above my pay grade. Alex Acosta said that. It's in the congressional testimony. It's on camera. You can see it. Jeffrey Epstein belonged to Intel. This Intel app was to go after people like Donald Trump, and they were able to get people like Bill Gates. Suddenly, Bill Gates is donating to the Democrat Party. Isn't that interesting? They were able to get people like Bill Clinton. They were able to get some of the biggest names in the movement, in the country, right? In the greater political and cultural zeitgeist. That's what the op was for Jeffrey Epstein. One single man, testified against and worked to put Jeffrey Epstein behind prison and behind bars. One single billionaire in this country, as far as we know, one billionaire in this country worked with the prosecution to make sure that Jeffrey Epstein caught a case in Palm Beach for his sick crimes. One person banned Jeffrey Epstein from his properties and his clubs, and that man is Donald Trump. You can go check with the lawyers who put Jeffrey Epstein behind bars. They praise Donald Trump's name. They sing on his name. They say that Donald Trump is the one man who showed up to help us, to put away Jeffrey Epstein. So this fantasy that somehow like Donald Trump is some kind of lecherous Jeffrey Epstein friend, ally, and criminal consult, that is utterly and totally debunked by the facts, but also debunked by the hard facts that, according to this tabloid, according to our sources, this hit on Trump had been shopped around, like the Access Hollywood tape. This thing has been shopped around to every news publication. Somewhere upwards of 30 to 40 news publications have passed on the story because there is no merit to it. There is no proof to it. There's nothing other than libelous accusations that ring really hard against the actual accuser, given the timing and nature of them, given Donald Trump's history with Jeffrey Epstein, and most importantly, given the total factual inaccuracies of the testimony. Late winter of 1993, I was on a walk with Jeffrey Epstein in his brownstone on the Upper East Side down Fifth Avenue when Jeffrey looked up at me and said, let's stop by and see Trump. Okay, that's what this individual alleges. However, Epstein only moved into the Wexler mansion, rather famous as the FBI raided it and so on, in 1996. So you're talking about time traveling now? Garbage. Complete garbage. Debunked. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe not hundreds, but dozens of outlets passed on this story. Axios, Bloomberg, CBS, CNN, allies have all said that they were approached about the story 3 weeks ago. They all passed. People are saying effectively that this person has absolutely no credibility, and that the open and blatant bloody cheek of opportunism kind of rings quite loudly here. Okay, here we go. So Donald Trump, story about the general. Apparently, Donald Trump was really mean to a general and his family during his funeral, okay, at the White House. So let's go ahead and look at this. I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. Trump's obsession with dictators and disdain for America's military is deepening. Writes the guy who brought you the Iraq War. So this is what The Atlantic published. Total smear. I don't want to spend too much time on it because all of it's fake. None of it's real. All of it is based on nameless, faceless sources. And we all know what those sources mean. But let me tell you, somebody who does have the bravery to stand up, the actual families that are implicated in this. Here we go. From Myra Gulen. Okay, Myra Gulen. Wow, I don't appreciate how you are exploiting my sister's death for politics. hurtful and disrespectful to the important changes that she made for service members. President Donald Trump did nothing but show respect for my family and Vanessa. In fact, I voted for President Trump today. Nick Ayers, who was chief of staff at the White House and working with President Trump in the room. I've avoided commenting on intra-staff leaks or rumors or even lies as it relates to my time at the White House. But General Kelly's comments regarding President Trump are too egregious to ignore. I was with each of them and most. His commentary is patently false. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Trump volunteered to pay for the funeral of a murdered soldier. Excuse me. The allegations are that Donald Trump didn't want to pay for the funeral of someone and then called them a racial slur. Ladies and gentlemen, now you have multiple members of Trump's actual staff coming forward and saying that this is a complete and total hoax. All of these allegations have been debunked by the family or people that are still inside of the still inside or outside of the Trump orbit who were in the room at the time. This is the Trump former national security advisor, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Kellogg. Vice President Harris is a fraud. I was in the White House at a senior level much longer than General Kelly. He is complicit in this fraud and has lied to the American people. His lies, as well as John Bolton's, are a disservice to this nation in this critical time. So are the vice presidents. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Kamala Harris, in total and complete coordination with this story, this shows you exactly how sick the regime is, coordination with the story, did a mini press conference last night, one day ago, where Kamala runs out and screams that Donald Trump's Hitler. This is just hours after Barack Obama muled and lamented that the country is too divided. How did we ever start hating each other, says Barack Obama, as he sends his little cretin out to call Donald Trump Hitler based on a totally and completely debunked story. Here's this repulsive Kamala Harris press conference.
It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas.
Do you see how that works? We've often played you the clip. We don't need to play it right now, but we've often played you the clip of the wrap-up smear with Nancy Pelosi, where in a fit of pique or sobriety, Nancy Pelosi explains how Democrat weaponization of the media and lies works. It's very simple. You make up a lie about your opponent, you merchandise it to the press, and then you do a press conference on the reports. So they made up a lie about Donald Trump, that he loves Hitler, that he disrespects our military. We all know those things to be false. And then they bring that, it comes from within the Democrat Party. They take that to their urchins at the Atlantic, the little goblins that write these things. The guy who created the Iraq War, the guy who was the number one defender of the Iraq War, Jeffrey Goldberg, completely disgraced, fraud. They have them write it. So the press writes it. They merchandise it. And then you're able to do a press conference and point to the article and say, wow, look at that. You wrote the article. Nancy Pelosi actually explains this in absolute and total, explains this point for point. And you're seeing it happen here. This isn't journalism. This is the most slanderous and despicable form of grievance lifting, and it falls completely flat. I mean, it really does. It really does. Check out some of these responses. Okay, they're comparing Trump with Hitler, the guy who has Jewish ancestors, Jewish son-in-law, and Jewish grandchildren. Why would he endorse Hitler and his generals? At least they make up a story that we can believe. Yeah, that's exactly right. Here's photos of Donald Trump wearing a yarmulke with Ben Shapiro. Story falls flat, with witnesses debunking it as proof that real Donald Trump is the furthest thing from Hitler. Same playbook, over and over again, used devoid of truth is pathetic. This is how Biden started his campaign before he was overthrown, and it's how Kamala is finishing. It reeks of desperation, and it is laughable. You can see the multiple people who were in the room that were assisting with the families that have said this is totally and patently untrue. Like, at what point does the Atlantic must be sued for this? And like, at what point do you just drop lawsuits and say, prove it? You published this. This is defamatory. Prove it. There are multiple people. You can prove defamation in these things. If you have multiple witnesses that are fact witnesses that can come forward and say what you wrote is completely false and it's caused damage to me, then you can sue. Defamation law is very clear about this. They should sue. Theo World. I was at President Trump's meeting with the Gulen family. This is the family that he apparently disrespected upon their funeral, because I assisted with the translation that day. President Trump was genuinely concerned about Vanessa Gulen and appalled by the tragedy they were enduring. The Gulen family was poised and confident, advocating for the sister, and it's right again today. The Atlantic hit piece is a lie. For example, President Trump had zero interest in the cameras. He met with the family privately for 20 minutes, offered the press gaggle solely if it would assist them in honoring the Army Specialist Gulen and raising awareness for her case. He just told them that day that the press are vipers. Boy, was President Trump right. Just person after person after person. Look, can you please go to the last slide here with President Trump? There you go. Who, man? Worst Hitler impression on earth. I'll say it. Absolutely. Like, if there are people who actually do Hitler impressions. Like, this is the worst Hitler impression on earth. You want a better Hitler impression? Go look at how Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have talked about Jewish people. You want a better Hitler impression? Why don't you go look at like how Kamala Harris has praised these anti-Semitic movements on our campuses that like openly seek to attack Jewish students, and they do takeovers of like downtown New York City in order to eradicate entirely the state of Israel. Chant from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. What does that mean? From the river to the sea. Well, that means there's no more state of Israel. Kamala Harris sides with those people, advocates for those people, allows those people to burn American flags. Like, if you want a better impression of an anti-Semitic, megalomaniacal, mass murdering maniac, look no further than the modern Democrat Party and the visage of that refuse of a political movement. This is why it all falls flat. Ladies and gentlemen, Kayleigh McEnany on debunking this, which is, of course, a perfect person to do this because Kayleigh McEnany, as press secretary, is in all these meetings. Let's go.
I heard this overnight. So this is The Atlantic. It's Jeffrey Goldberg. And here's the headlines from The Atlantic. Trump, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. And you can see the subtitle there, the Republican nominee's preoccupation with dictators. And it goes on. When I saw this, first, they talk about a meeting with the Guillen family. The Guillen family tragically lost their sister, lost their daughter. She served our country honorably. And they characterize a meeting, one in which I was in. I was not in this December meeting they speak of, but a meeting with this family. And here's what the sister said about this story. Wow, I don't appreciate how you all are exploiting my sister's death for politics, hurtful, deceitful, the important changes she made for service members, and indeed she did. President Donald Trump did nothing but show respect to my family and Vanessa. I was in that July meeting. That was undoubtedly the case. But the reason my antennas went up last night when I saw the name Jeffrey Goldberg is because I was on a tarmac in September of 2020, and a story popped from him in the Atlantic, and it was the suckers and losers story we have all heard. Within hours, I was able to collect more than a dozen individuals, several who were firsthand sources saying that never happened. Zach Fuentes, who was an aide of John Kelly, came out and said that never happened. We found contemporaneous documents disputing the reporter who said Trump did not go to the cemetery, not because of a bad weather call. John Bolton's book disputes that. We found a contemporaneous document to dispute that. My point is, this is based on 4 anonymous sources, 2 weeks before an election,
100%.
disputed by people on the record, and yet it led a CBS News broadcast. What a shame.
Did they
what a
include
shame.
your portion? Did they include?
No, they never reached out to me. I was in that first meeting, never reached out to me. But I will say this quickly. Donald Trump, I have never seen him more downtrodden than when the suckers and losers story came out. He normally, stuff came out of about his finances, fake stories. He didn't care. He was devastated by that story. I remember him saying, what kind of monster would ever say words like that? This is shameful reporting from the Atlantic, in my opinion.
Despicable. Truly and totally despicable. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump responding as these fake stories break, and also as the panic sets in. These are not the actions of people who are winning. These are the actions of people who are losing, who are desperate, who are flailing, and much like a wounded, ravenous, rabies-filled animal, will just bite at or scratch at anything that they can possibly get their claws on. Comrade Kamala Harris sees that she is losing, and losing badly, especially after stealing the race from crooked Joe Biden. Now she is increasingly raising her rhetoric, going so far as to call me Adolf Hitler and anything else that comes into her warped mind. She's a threat to democracy, not fit to be president of the United States, as her polling indicates. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a perfect response. Don't even dignify it. Ooh, man. You want to talk about major indignities? Man, I'll show you indignities. Kamala Harris losing a debate with herself. Whew. Okay, so after all of the backup that she's gotten, after all the celebrities' endorsements, after all of the glory hole media treatment that she's been given, Kamala Harris is still incapable of winning a debate against herself on CNN. This was an excruciating and total humiliation. A town hall last night hosted by CNN, with hand-selected, as far as we know, Kamala campaign staffers asking her the questions. These are Kamala supporters in the audience, hand-picked by CNN to prop up the failing, nightmarish, Hindenburg-level disaster of the Kamala Harris campaign. And Kamala still found it possible to not answer a question, to be a nuclear cringe device, and to start arguing with her own supporters. Oh, it is a delicious, delicious rundown. Check this out. This is amazing. Democrat strategists damning 3-word verdict on Kamala Harris' performance in critical town hall. Oh, yeah, baby. Kamala Harris branded Donald Trump a fascist and got flustered when confronted about whether the border wall was stupid during a high-stakes CNN town hall just 13 days from the election. But it was Harris's inability to provide clear answers on both domestic and foreign policy and trademark meandering responses throughout the 90-minute session that left even CNN's left-leaning panelists ripping her afterwards. Veteran Democrat strategist David Axelrod, who helped get Barry Obama elected and served as one of the top advisors, summed up Harris's performance with the catchphrase of the night: "Word salad city." Oh, man. Yeah, so CNN bodying Harris like it was a like it was WWE. I can't. These clips are really remarkable. Harris stood before the undecided voters in the swing district of Delaware County, Pennsylvania, where new polls has shown that Donald Trump has taken the lead. Also, Donald Trump taking the lead nationally today, at +3 in a Wall Street Journal poll, and unbelievable. While she hoped to gain an edge with undecided voters in the Keystone State via the town hall performance, post-game critiques told another story. The debate against herself was panned as a massive loss for Kamala Harris. But let's continue and begin with the hoaxes against President Trump. Could you imagine telling people that democracy needs to be saved and that you're on the side of democracy and then calling your opponent a fascist? Like, what does that even say about democracy? That like an actual true fascist would be able to get the lead party's nomination. And then if you actually study what fascism means, from the follow-up question here is define fascism. Because if you define fascism academically, then what you'd see is fascism is the fusion of corporations and the state in order to oppress people. And there's only one political ideology that supports that. And you can see it in practice. Just look as far as the Twitter files, the Facebook files. Look as far as what they're doing to Elon Musk, the insane lawfare. There's not like a single government agency that isn't going after Elon Musk right now. The actual fascists are Kamala Harris. The correct question. So Anderson Cooper goes, "Is Donald Trump a fascist?" Like I love the way that they ask these questions. When did you stop beating your wife? You can't answer that, right? Like so hey, when did you stop beating your wife? Like you're not allowed to, the bias is baked into the question itself. So the damage is done by the asking of the question. This is how completely cucked Anderson Cooper is. Anderson Cooper got destroyed last night. Of course, he's a little trust fund baby. Anderson Cooper doesn't care. He's a complete bitch. But this is just a grotesque line of questioning to begin. And it's like, it's funny. You have to laugh at it because it just shows the absolute pandering desperation of the corporate press. Here we go.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also believe that the people who know him best on this subject should be trusted.
You believe Donald Trump is anti-Semitic?
I believe Donald Trump is a danger to the well-being and security of America.
What is fascism? Is the correct next question. Okay, you just called your opponent a thing. Define it. What is it? Because fascism definitionally is exactly what the corporate Democrat Party is doing now and has completely and totally fused with corporate America in order to oppress the rest of us. So the two biggest forces in a country, massive multinational corporations plus the federal government fusing together to oppress us. That is the definition of fascism. Talk to any political academic. Which party does that sound like exactly? The Fortune 500 CEOs, which parties do they align with? The banking system, the judicial system, Hollywood, entertainment, music industry, sports industry. What are they all run by? You tell me who's fascist. You jackals. Luckily, we have the people on our side, and that's all that matters, actually. Kamala Harris refuses to answer if she is for a wall. This is the most humiliating clip of the night. She's said, you called the wall stupid and said you wanted to tear it all down. Now you say you want to build more wall. What the hell's wrong with you?
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on it? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
I don't know how to describe Kamala Harris other than suburban wine mom, 3 times divorced in a minivan, like trying to do her makeup, talking into her rearview mirror, like probably shouldn't be driving. 3 o'clock in the afternoon to happy hour. Like none of it makes any sense. All of it is so humiliating. Kamala has no good advisors. All of her DEI advisors, everyone who's still left on Kamala's staff, everyone's left, right? So Kamala's the most toxic and worst boss. Everyone's left. She has a 95% staff turnover. These were articles that were written back when they were trying to sabotage Kamala and not Joe Biden. The articles written about Kamala Harris is that that no one stays on her staff. No one. Plus 95% staff turnover. So anyone who's good or anyone who's competent have all left. The only people left are like the brat summer people. Like the people that think it was like a good idea to make Kamala a meme. She has no actual policy. She has no actual strategy. She has no capacity to synthesize her talking points into a worldview, because hours earlier she was talking about amnesty. Look.
Right now we're talking about border security, and there's no Democrat talking about pathway to citizenship, an immigration relief, and the benefits that migrants bring to this country.
Oh, but there's no question that migrants bring. America is a country that was built in part by immigrants.
But people are concerned about their TPS, their DACA, we're talking about mass deportations.
I'm not talking about.
What do you stand on mass deportations? What's your stand there?
We need smart, humane immigration policy in America that includes a pathway to citizenship.
I'm surprised Kamala Harris didn't answer by saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay? I love you back." We love Kamala Harris's Latinx. You could tell she was so close to doing the accent. She was so close. You could tell she was like, oh, it was like everything inside of her. She was like trying to hold it back. She was so close to doing the accent. I love you back. I love her Latinx accent. Oh, okay. So an hour earlier, she's saying she wants full amnesty for 30 million illegals. And then the next hour on CNN, she says she wants to build the wall. Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, this one's really tough. Last night, we led the entire stadium in a Christ is King chant because Kamala Harris kicked out a Christian from her rally for yelling Jesus Christ is King. Now, I don't know what faith Kamala Harris is a part of. I don't think it's the Christian faith. I got to be perfectly honest with you. I see no indication of that. I mean, there's plenty of videos of her celebrating Kwanzaa. Somebody should ask, quite frankly. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I know her mother was Hindu. I know she married into a Jewish family. But Kamala was asked about her faith last night. And I got to tell you, we want to talk about an answer that was lacking. She was this close to saying, "You're not welcome here," right? Remember that she did that with a Christian at the rally. Someone yells Christ is King, and she goes, "You're not welcome here. You need to go to the other smaller rally down the street." Oh, okay. Well, thank you. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Here's Kamala Harris last night. What exactly is your faith about? Here we go.
But I just called him. I needed that spiritual kind of connection. I needed that advice. I needed a prayer. And there's a part of the scripture that talks about Esther and a time such as this, and that's what we talked about. And it was very comforting for me. And
do you pray every day?
I do pray every day. I do pray every day, sometimes twice a day. I grew up. So we grew up a little neighborhood church in Oakland, 23rd Avenue Church of God, and I was raised to believe in a loving God, to believe that your faith is a verb. You know, you live your faith, and that that the way that one should do that is that your work and your life's work should be to think about how you can serve in a way that is uplifting other people, that is about caring for other people. And that guides a lot of how I think about my work and what is important.
What does that even mean? If you ask me about my faith, I'm like, why are these clips so long? Like, you're like yelling, we're like talking, the production crew, we're like in a little hotel room. Like, why the hell are these clips so long? If you ask me about my faith, it's very simple. I can tell you about my faith in exactly less than 3 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Christ is king. The end. That even 2 seconds? 1 second. I can do it. Simple. I don't need 97 seconds of mewling and word salad shooters to like tell you about my faith. That's when you're lying. Honey, where were you last night? Well, you better sit down. Let me explain. 31 minutes later. You're lying, right? Like, you're lying. All right? It's very simple. If you were where you should have been last night, you just said, "Oh, I stopped by 7-Eleven, I picked up some milk, I came home." How long did that take? Why does it take Kamala Harris minutes on end to explain her faith? No, bro. The faith is actually simple, okay? Faith traditions are quite simple. That's why they're faith. They're founded upon faith. That's what faith means, in fact, right? Simple truths and how we organize our lives. Whew, baby. Man, that's a tough one. Never says the name of Jesus Christ. Do we have that Christ is King clip? Let me grab that Christ is King chant from last night because it was fun. That was really fun. You know, we were like, well, you know what? If Kamala's kicking Christians out, I know where they can all go. Come on, boys. How is Kamala Harris even close? Is my question. Listen to this next. Listen to this next clip. How is Kamala Harris even close? Kamala Harris calling herself a nerd in one response, saying that she won't be able. This is an incredible setup. This is an incredible setup. If your wife asks you, "Where were you last night?" and you tell your wife, "Well, I'm not going to be able to give you a straight answer. I'm going to need some time to figure that one out." Brother, my brother in Christ, you're either sleeping on the couch or you're never going back to that home ever again, okay? That's not a good way to answer a question. Where were you last night? I'm going to need to do some research on that, and I'll get back with you. I'm a nerd. This is what Kamala Harris is. Okay, so this is what Kamala Harris's answer actually was. Here we go. This is what she's telling the American voters. Go.
So I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
Your marriage is over if you answer a question like that. I've been happily married for going on 8 years. Your marriage is over if you answer a question like that. I can't answer that for you. I'm kind of a nerd. Oh, boy, brother, you are in the doghouse. You are cooked, boy. Have you ever made a mistake? Like, compare this again. We are in a relationship, in a sense, with our federal government. It's something that we have to interact with. The leaders, the decisions they make have consequences on us and our households. You would never be able to get away with this in your relationship. You'd never be able to, like, if somebody asks you if you made a mistake, like if you approach the relationship as though you've never made a mistake and you're infallible, you're doomed. Trust me on that. Like, view it through that lens. Have you ever made a mistake? Like, as a moral human being, like the step one is admitting that actually you're an alcoholic, right? Like the 12-step program in AA. The first step of actually being a decent human is admitting you're not perfect. Kamala Harris, have you ever made a mistake? Listen to this answer. Tell me, what a toxic, putrid, green sludge, primordial ooze that would turn in like Ninja Turtles if you dumped it into the sewer. Like what is this? that is swimming around Kamala Harris. Like, imagine being in a relationship with this person. Have you ever made a mistake? Go.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
It's a mistake not to be well versed on issues to answer a question. If you are in a relationship with somebody that can't say if they've ever made a mistake or claims to be perfect, or that their only mistake is that they're not well versed on issues, or lies about raising a child, okay? Lies about raising a child, and we'll get to Doug Emhoff in a second. Believe that. Kamala Harris doesn't have kids. She doesn't have kids, all right? That's just a matter of fact. That's a choice. Would you lie about that? What are you talking about? Julie Kelly making such a great point the other day on the program that is why she's so cruel and indifferent when other people's children get murdered. And that's why parents have such a visceral reaction to Kamala Harris. If you support Kamala Harris, I mean, parents, there is no reason that if you're a parent, this should be like the screaming red warning sign. Not to support somebody like this who cackles and laughs when confronted with the death of people's children, as she was confronted on Fox News. Remember how she said she's sorry about the death of people that were killed by criminal aliens? But Kamala goes, but it was a nightmare. Even CNN saying it's a nightmare. Here's the architect of the Barack Obama administration, David Axelrod, who admittedly is a very smart person, saying, word salad city, disaster.
She doesn't want to answer a question. Her habit is to kind of go to word salad city, and she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
Focused a lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specifics in terms of what she would do as president.
Well, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump is speaking to a stadium, a sports arena of people. Electric last night joined on stage with Tucker Carlson, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr. live. Oh, come on. And shouting out your boy. What a great contrast. Couldn't do better. Scott Jennings, one of my all-time favorite commentators, talking on CNN last night, saying effectively every single time that Kamala Harris speaks, she cuts a new Trump ad. Go.
It probably will shock Kamala Harris and the rest of her campaign staff to learn that there are incumbent Democrat U.S. senators in this country right now running television ads touting all their work with this modern-day Hitler. I wonder if Kamala Harris tonight in our town hall meeting will call for them to take these ads off the air, touting their work with this Hitler. I mean, if he were really Hitler, if he were really a threat to democracy, not a single Democrat in this country would be running ads touting their work with Donald Trump.
That's exactly right. Chuck Schumer sitting next to Hitler, laughing just the other night. I don't know if we can grab those photos, but we talked about them earlier this week on the show. Chuck Schumer like laughing and yucking it up with Donald Trump, like hugging and embracing Donald Trump, like smiling, patting each other on the back. Wow. Chuck Schumer's Jewish, by the way. And here he is dining with Hitler, Ooh, it seems like a very bad thing for Chuck Schumer to do. That happened just the other night. Here we go. This is a great, this is a punch on the, wow, look at that. What a reaction to Hitler, Chuck. Goodness. Let's go to the next one. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Having what looks like a milky coffee with Hitler? Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. Chuck Schumer. The Chuck Schumer villain arc created, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about real villains here. The actual villains who wish to run this nation are the ones who are incapable of saying Christ is king. We said this last night. We said this on stage. Kamala Harris, I just want to get to this clip because it was my favorite moment of last night. Kamala Harris kicked people out of her event for saying Christ is king. This is what Donald Trump offered at the event last night. Here we go.
Here, exactly. So what's the other side offering? Somebody yelled, Christ is king, at Kamala Harris, and she said, and I quote, oh, you are at the wrong rally this week. Ladies and gentlemen, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. If you believe Christ is king, you're in the right house tonight. Christ is king. Christ is king. That's the difference.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, muted. Very fun. Had to take my Zin out. Actually, Tucker is unbelievable. Tucker's such a pusher. Last night, Tucker grabs our camera crew, Eric and Klein, and pushes them into the corner, and is like, "Alp, alp, 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 alp. You're gonna use my nicotine pouches." It was did a personal ad for our crew. Now I don't use nicotine pouches. Maybe I'll start. My team tells me don't start. Don't start. You're already too high energy. But yeah, it was maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I should. Everyone on the team uses nicotine pouches. So Tucker has his own brand. Maybe we'll go up with an ad for that. That was fun. It was funny watching him sell his new brand. It's great. Dude, Tucker's so high energy. That's the difference. Okay, so one party is the party that kicks out Christians. One party is the party that cannot put together a coherent message or vision for the rest of the country. And one party is the party of spousal abuse. This we now know. Check this out. In the bombshell that should end the Kamala Harris campaign. Why would you want to put this person back in the White House? I guess Democrats have proven they can put people like Bill Clinton back in the White House. They really all wanted so badly to put Bill Clinton, the rapist, the sexual abuser, back into the White House to lord over the interns again. The Democrats were okay with that. Don't ever let a Democrat say a single word about Donald Trump's character when they wanted to put Jeffrey Epstein flying, Harvey Weinstein casting couch, Diddy party body oil man, Bill Clinton back in the White House. Okay? I have no time for you. I have no time for you. Here we go. The Bill Clinton of the modern era of presidential politics is Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, who is also a woman abuser. Bill Clinton, woman abuser in one manner. Doug Emhoff is a woman abuser in another. Now, preceding this bombshell story that broke just moments before we went live today is the story of Doug Emhoff's first marriage. Doug Emhoff's first marriage ended because he was shagging the nanny, who was also his children's teacher, and impregnated her. That's beyond dispute. Doug Emhoff admitted to it. This individual said that because of all the trauma, she lost the baby. Doug Emhoff's first wife left him because of this.
That's the lore. That it's not lore. That's like that's the story, okay, of Doug Emhoff. And now this. Kamala Harris's husband slapped me in the face so hard that I spun around. I'm disgusted by his fake perfect spouse persona. Uh-oh. Here we go. Doug Emhoff's ex-girlfriend has spoken exclusively to the Daily Mail, claiming that he slapped her so hard in the face that she physically spun around, fell to the ground at the 2012 celebrity event in France. The woman, a successful New York attorney, is remaining anonymous, but decided to speak out against Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, even as he denied the claims through a spokesperson. Emhoff's accuser, who let's make it this a little different than the women who accused Donald Trump of things. There's actually photos of them. Her face is blurred here, but there are photos of them together. This is actually Doug Emhoff's girlfriend. This is actually somebody who worked and lived with Doug Emhoff. They did date. There's physical evidence of it. There are corroborating stories of dozens of friends who say that this happened, that Doug Emhoff is an abusive, woman-beating monster who also cheats on his wife with and bangs the nanny behind her back and destroys his marriage. Just a little addendum there. Scumbag. I'm a man, so I can speak out about these kind of things. I'm a man, so I know man world. This is, dude. There's a way that people get treated where I come from who do this to women. You're lucky you're not from Iowa, pal. Emhoff's accuser, the Daily Mail is naming only as Jane, initially declined to comment, but Emhoff's denial and his alleged hypocrisy by claiming to be a feminist in media interviews finally became too much for her. What's frightening for a woman that's been on the other side of it is watching this completely fabricated persona being portrayed, says Jane, the woman who he abused, who he assaulted. I mean, you could call it criminally, you should call it assault. He's being held out as the antithesis of who he actually is. It's utterly shocking. Shock poll reveals that Donald Trump, just 12 days to go, is in the lead right now, and mainly I think because of this. I mean, I think because Donald Trump, we'll get to the polls in just a second, but Donald Trump is breaking all polling metrics because people are, not exactly this story, but people are sick of being lied to. This woman is saying, this is all a liar. This is a fabricated persona. Daily Mail broke the story of an unprovoked attack on October 2nd by recording the accounts of friends who told them about the incident with Emhoff. The allegations is that come after Emhoff cheated on his first wife with his daughter's nanny, Najee Naylor, received little to no coverage from politically center-left major outlets. Emhoff admitted the affair in a statement in August. Spokesperson only gave a short denial of the alleged violence. In a statement to Semaphore, published on October 3rd, the spokesperson said, this report is untrue. Any suggestion that he would ever hurt a woman is false. Emhoff and Harris and the White House have failed to respond to the Daily Mail and other outlets' requests for comment. The second gentleman has since continued to brag about his long-held feminist values. Isn't it amazing? There's a photo. Let me show you who these feminists are. And by the way, here's like the woman again with Doug Emhoff. These are things that anyone who accuses Donald Trump of they never have any corroborating evidence. This is like actually real. This is real. Doug Emhoff is a woman beater. Democrats want to put a woman beater and spousal abuser in the White House again. This is a photo of Harvey Weinstein wearing a pussy hat. It's one of the most profound, I would argue, like one of the most profound and fascinating artifacts of our current modern day cultural landscape. Harvey Weinstein in a pussy hat walking in the Women's March right before the Me Too movement gobbled him up. And he's a monster. I mean, he's not defending Harvey Weinstein. But Harvey Weinstein is proves exactly, obviously Harvey Weinstein is a grotesque, lecherous monster who's, I think will spend the rest of his life in prison. I think he was just diagnosed with a form of cancer and he may die in jail. But there's this photo of Harvey Weinstein at the Aspen March for the Women's March wearing a pussy hat. And this shows you exactly what frauds these male feminists are. You want to be a male feminist? Let me tell you what being a male. Let me tell you what women actually want. They don't want male feminists who are these low T, petulant, estrogen-filled little rage goblins themselves, who are emotionally unstable, who take they never lift, right? They don't actually have any physical capacity to fight a man. They could only ever beat another woman, but actually like go after women, abuse women, people like Bill Clinton, people like Jeffrey Epstein, people like Doug Emhoff. These are your male feminists. People like Harvey Weinstein. Put it up. The photo. Like there he is. There it is. Harvey Weinstein wearing the pink pussy hat at the Women's March. The Women's March. Yeah, these are the male feminists you're talking about. These men are cowards. Let me tell you what a woman really wants. A woman doesn't want a male feminist. They don't want a male to act like a female. And then behind the scenes be this abusive, lecherous monster, which is what these people always turn out to be. Always. What they want is actual masculine energy. They want men to be men. They don't want the type of degrading virtue signaling that come from these bitches, these male feminists. They want masculine men. Men who stand up for their families, men who are physically capable, men who can fight for themselves, men who can defend their families, men that are stoic, men that can stand their ground, men that can be a calming force when they come home. When you enter the house as a father and you come home from work and your children run to you, that is the result of good fatherhood and parenthood and the natural order of things. The children seek stability, and you get stability through the mother in one way and through one energy, and you get through stability through the father with a different energy and a more masculine, stabilizing energy. It's beautiful and it's harmonious, and it works together. And in concert, actually, the male energy and the female energy create something beautiful for the children to kind of ping pong ball off of and have this nice rounded life and see the world as is meant to be. These male feminists are frauds. These guys are complete and total degenerates. Women do not ever be in a relationship with a male feminist. These are some of the horrors of these people. Kamala Harris's husband, a male feminist, that's the biggest red flag there is. All right? Men should be men. And actually, men being men is the single greatest protector of women. Men being feminists, well, again, that's your red flag. And there it is, right there on your screen. There's the result. These people are frauds. You know what isn't fraudulent right now? Are the polling numbers. Oh man, this is insane. You know, we often talk about suppression polls on this program, and we talk about how broken polling is, and we bring on the pollsters to talk through the data, some of the pollsters that we trust, like Rich Barris, like Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen. But bros, like, there's a tidal wave that is happening that cannot be ignored. Can we start off with the Wall Street Journal? Yeah, there it is. 3 points. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do the greatest happy dance you've ever seen on election night. This show has been made fun of, maligned, and ridiculed because we've been platforming pollsters saying that Donald Trump could win the popular vote. And yet, here he is, winning the popular vote in the Wall Street Journal poll. Winning the popular vote by 3 points. I think they're going to give up. I think they're giving up. This is our prediction. The Harris Forbes poll. This is not like a Kamala Harris poll. This is like the Harris X Forbes polling infrastructure. And Forbes is the news outlet. Trump, 2-point advantage. Holy smokes, man. Battleground states. Trump has a monster. Look at this. Trump battleground states has an 8-point advantage. What? Look at that. CNBC new poll. Trump up 2 points nationally. It's all starting to break. Trump up 1 point in all battleground states. The Real Clear Politics average, flipping Trump. This is what I mean by a suppression poll. When these pollsters do these national polls, you can see it in the crosstabs. It's very easy. What they do is they poll people from New York and California. They over-index Democrats, and then they say Kamala Harris is leading nationally. It's all fake. It's not real. Also, it doesn't matter to be leading nationally, but when Donald Trump is leading nationally, that means you're doomed. Do you approve or disapprove? Trump, job approval, +4. Harris, job approval, -12. She's collapsing. Nate Silver has flipped his model for a Donald Trump victory. Trump, 52%. Harris down into the 40s. Get ready. She's heading straight to where Joe Biden was. The Economist, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. The Economist, chances of winning. Donald Trump roaring ahead, 56-44. Who, baby? 538, one of the worst violators of polling integrity, has now Donald Trump winning 51% to 49. This is the energy. This is the energy that we're feeling. This is the energy that we saw last night here at the Real Clear Politics map. The RPC battlegrounds of the poly market polls, you can see them. They all sort of generally show the same thing, a triumphant Trump victory. We are one of the few channels with the balls in our shorts to talk about voter fraud. And we've been talking about voter fraud to the detriment, right? The moment you talk about these things, you get shadow banned, or you really put a target on your back. But we've been talking about voter fraud like as much as we can possibly bring it forward. In fact, was it Texas or Ohio? A bunch of voter fraud. I think it was Ohio. A bunch of people got charged with voter fraud in Ohio yesterday by the Secretary of State in Ohio. They're doing the same thing in Virginia. Oh yeah, baby, voter fraud. We're gonna wage a holy war against voter fraud when we get back in power. But because we've covered it, we are sort of like familiar with how this works. Like we've covered some of the more humiliating like moments of like Democrats doing voter fraud against Democrats in places like New Jersey and Connecticut. We haven't seen anything that could flip these scales. Like the ability to fudge the numbers and lie and like send in some fraudulent ballots, like that the capacity build isn't there to try and out cheat this. This is why Donald Trump has the placards printed out too big to rig. That's the goal. This is too big to rig. Poly market, let's go. Too big to rig. Is the prophecy been foretold? Back to 61. Okay. I don't care. I'm not crying about it. The prophecy says that Donald Trump will be at 69% on election day to win. We must see the prophecy foretold. Right now it's 61-38. I'll take it, baby. Ooh, man. A wild and wonderful and interesting, fascinating and encouraging time that brings us kind of to what we're going to do today and the rest of the week. I want to give you guys a couple of programming notes. We're going to be going to Madison Square Garden. If you're in New York, shout out your boy. We're going to be going to Madison Square Garden, and we're going to be doing a secret. We're going to be doing a quick secret, fun little international day trip to do a little extra research ourselves on a very hot button issue. That should be fun. Today, we're going to go hand out MAGA hats at the Fulton County Jail. It's going to be wild. We're going to film a rap video today. We may go do a campaign rally with Laura Trump tonight. It's going to be very exciting. And we're going to go troll a Kamala Harris Obama, apparently Bruce Springsteen rally. How embarrassing, how humiliating. You bring out Bruce Springsteen from the nursing home, you know, wheel him out with Jimmy Carter. Both of them both of them on oxygen, right? Like, oh, come on, kids. Vote for Kamala. Dude, it's going to be like, it's going to be shadow boxing, baby. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be so much fun. Team never quit. Team never sleep. Team never stop. It was our great honor. It was our great honor last night, again, to get the shout out from Trump. It's just a testament to this entire team, a testament to what we're building here. And that's bigger than any one individual or any one person. That's a movement. That's a movement that we're gonna keep, and we're gonna feed, and we're gonna grow for the rest of our time, for the rest of my time in this great country, because that's what it's actually all about. I ended the speech last night the same way I'll end here, which is my family is my motivator. Like, I have American children, nearly 4 of them. My wife's pregnant. I have nearly 4 American children. I will dig my boots into this dark, black earth that is America, because I am an American. I am a native American. I was born here. My grandpappies were born here. And this is my home, and I will fight it. And you sick, demonic, pedophilic, goblin globalists, you do not have a right to take my home away from me. And I will fight you for it. I will fight you for it. And that's the motivator of this channel. If you agree, please subscribe to the channel. If you agree, please join the Betting Brigade. You can do so on our website, bettingjohnson.com. You can support our work. It does cost money to get out into the field and do things. We gladly spend it. And we just did a gas station video. We got 1 million views now. We've done millions and millions of views on building a Trump gas station. Freaking awesome. And we're doing it. We're doing it to build the movement here, man. Become a member on YouTube. We have memberships open on YouTube too. If that's your jam, sweet. We have custom emojis. All of it helps us defend and protect this great land. And so we thank you. Our number one protection comes from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, from Philippians 1:6. I am convinced that God, who began a good work in you, will carry it through to completion on the day of Jesus Christ. It has been a long road. It has been a excruciating road on some days. Well, I would never play victim, and I never want you to feel sorry for us. We are blessed. But ALX can tell you, man, this has been quite a build. It's been a tough build. There have been some days that have been tough to go to work. But we are here for you, and you have been showing up for us. You show up for us. We show up for you, and we love that. We're building a movement together. Christ will carry out to completion the work that he started in us. And I think that's what you're seeing in this movement. It's turned into a spiritual movement, and it's exciting to be a part of it. It's an honor, actually. So grab that energy. Onward to victory. It's your boy, Benny. Let's go.
My God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. My God, I do. We're not going to just meme those globalists. We're going to meme them till they cry and use their tears to grease the treads of our takes.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.